Good morning and welcome to Kramer's Corner with the daily technical update. It is Thursday the 15th of May. This video is an educational video. There's no recommendation or advice whatsoever intended. So it is purely for educational purposes only. Today we'll start with Apple, that is really struggling, lacking the rest of the market. Failed to close above 213.30 and close this gap area here up to 217. It needs to close this gap here for really establishing a bullish trend. RSI rejected at 60 threshold, so it's still struggling also to close above and go into positive sentiment. So the next few days are likely to be key. We have the 55 moving average coming down here where we closed at the yesterday. So that is also tracking on it. We have the 100 moving average that went below the 200. They're both declining. So there is a downside pressure here on Apple. So they are really not running the show at the moment, to say the least. The overall market, S&P 500, closed almost unchanged yesterday, trying once again to break above 5,905, but failed. However, the sentiment is still positive, so there is further upside potential. I think we could see a little bit of a setback here, maybe in the next couple of days, some profit taking. We can also see here pre-market we're down about 0.5%. And I would expect maybe a little bit of setback down to around 5,800 possibly, but then maybe not that much. But it could. We have some support here. We also have in this region around 5,783. We also have the moving average of 100 and 200 coming here, adding to that support. Nasdaq 100 about 0.5% up yesterday. Resistance at 21,454, and we can see here pre-market down about 0.5%. So I would expect a little bit of correction, but the bullish trend is still intact and the positive sentiment still there. So, but there will most likely be a little bit of profit taking. Dow Jones got rejected at 42,518. Tuesday and had a negative day yesterday, about 0.25% lower. If it starts closing the gap here or trying to push below, and let's just add this horizontal line 41,899, then well, suddenly it could be a little bit further weakness. Here pre-market about 0.6% lower, so it's really challenging that area there. But also here we have a positive sentiment on the RSI, so we should push higher in the coming weeks. But a bit of a correction after this massive or very strong bullish bounce is quite normal, and it's likely to play out. For third day almost in a row, Seng tested and was rejected at the 786 retracement at 23,673, closing down about 1%. Could set it back to around the 22,730 support area here, 22,638 in this range here. We also have the 55 moving average coming up, adding a little bit of support or adding support to that. There is a minor divergence. You can see this peak here is lower than this one, but the close up here was higher than this one. So there's a minor divergence here on RSI, indicating a trend exhaustion. But if it does close above the peak from today at 23,710, it is likely to be cancelled, and we could see it pushing higher. The uptrend is still intact, so it's just a warning about maybe a little bit of trend exhaustion. The EUROSTOXX 50 is the opening trading about 0.5% lower. Also expect a little bit of a setback here, possibly down to around 5,300. There will be some support in this range here, area around 5,285 and 5,229, where we also have the 100 and the 55 moving average adding to that support there. We can see here the CFD also trading lower. The DAX index 0.35% lower at the open. We had 2 bearish candles here, so maybe we have a little bit of a exhaustion at the moment, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see it setting back to around 23,000 in a correction phase. I wouldn't be too worried unless we start trading below 22,818. Then it could be a larger correction, but a little bit of correction after this, 28% rise here, really strong move. We can also see it here on the CFD setting back a little bit, but we are still in a bullish uptrend. There's no divergence indicating likely higher levels, but this doji here indicating a top and reversal on the short term at least. Moving on to the forex world, we had euro-dollar spiking to the 38.2 retracement yesterday at 112.60, and it failed to continue further. So you can see here, I would do this. I will actually say, okay, this is the range it needs to break out of. 112.66 or 112.70, always add a little bit to the upside. If it breaks above that, don't need a closer, I think, then we could see a push up to the 61.8 retracement, 113.80. If it breaks below 110.65, expect a push down to, or sell off down to around 109.13, 109 level here. The 55 moving average coming up here, adding some support, indicating the breakout is likely to be to the upside, and still positive sentiment on the RSI. It bounced off 40 threshold, so it's likely to push higher, resuming uptrend. Cable sterling dollar pausing a little bit after bouncing from the 131.60. It still needs to take out the previous peak up here at 134.50 to continue its uptrend. If it takes out the lows from the 12th of May at 131.40, I expect a sell-off down to 130.75, possibly down to 130. Euro sterling bouncing, and I think it will keep bouncing, crawling back above 84.65. If it can do that, then we can see a further bounce higher above 85. However, negative sentiment on the RSI. So if it takes out the lows here from a few days ago at 84, if it takes out 84, then I think we'll see euro sterling down to around 83.15, where we have a little bit of a support. Dollar yen keeps sliding lower and now has taken back half of the uptrend here after being rejected at the strong resistance here at 148.65. I think we could keep sliding lower to the 61.8 retracement, 144.75, and then I think we'll see a bounce. However, you can see that the 55 moving average is declining, dragging it lower. Excuse me, and also the 100 and the 200 moving are both declining, trying to push. There's a little bit of positive sentiment indicated here to close above, but it's marginal. So let's see what's going on the next few days. But I think we will see continued setback. Euro yen that was rejected at 165. Setting back here, and I think we could set it back further to around 163.5, 162, but we have strong support down here, and still we are in a bullish trend with higher highs, higher low, higher high. So, but it needs to take out the 165.25 to the upside to keep this uptrend going. But the 55 moving average is rising. All of them are rising, and so there's underlying trend is bullish, but we are struggling a little bit, we can see. Also yen also setting back, and what I will do, first of all, I will adjust. You can do this yourself. I will put this into the center so it doesn't disturb my Fibonacci the other way. Oops, I lost that one. Let's try it again. There we go. So I put sell off down to test the upper falling trend line, possibly down to the 38.2 retracement at just below 92. That's where we have the 61.8 retracement of the upside, where it also paused here. So there's some strong support in this region around 92. We could dip down to there, and then we could bounce, and there's still positive sentiment on the RSI indicating likely higher levels. If it takes out the peak here and takes out 95.75, expect a move up to around 97.50. Sterling yen also rejected there. It just broke above this previous peak to the 176.4 projection, and then got knocked down. So what I will do, I will add a Fibonacci retracement just on the last leg up there, and I think we will see a push down to 61.8 and 192.65 here on the short term. Still positive sentiment, so I think we'll see a bounce from this area, also with the 55 moving average coming up and the 100 adding some support. Aussie dollar, well, still this range-bound behavior here, can't make up its mind, so there's no clear signal. It should push higher. We have the 55 coming up, we have the 100 moving average coming up, but the 200 is kind of dragging it down or keeping it down. But there's positive sentiment on the RSI indicating we should see a push up to at least 65.5. Dollar Canada. Still holding up, did correct down to test the support here at 139 and the 38.2 retracement. If it takes out 140 and a quarter, then excuse me, then I think we'll see a push up to above 141. But if it takes out the lows from yesterday at 139, then we could see it down to 138.50 and maybe even all the way down to 138. Sterling Canada still in this range, but it is testing the upper at 186, 186 in this area. If it takes it out, well, then expect a push up to around 188. These peaks over here. EURUSD, well, got up to the 786 retracement just below the 100 moving average, and then got knocked down. And this actually seems to be forming at the moment, but the day is not over yet. But a bearish engulfing, it's actually engulfs the entire body. We don't count the shadows or the wicks here. If it does close below 93.90, then I think we will see it sliding back to 93.50 and 93 and a quarter. And you could also here add a Fibonacci to that uptrend here, say, okay, where do we have some levels, possibly down to around 93.5 could be seen. If it takes out the peak here from yesterday, then expect a push up to around 94.50. Dollar Swiss also setting back, has tested the minor support here. If it can build on the uptrend, it needs to close above the 84.76 here, 84.80, always add a little bit. Then I think we'll see a push up to the 85.45 level. If it slides back and takes out that spike down there at 83.20, well, then we are stuck in this range here once again. Still negative sentiment on the RSI. The breakout of either below the rising trend line or above 60 threshold, it could be a prediction of the trend. The dollar index has tested the gap area here once again to the downside. Hasn't closed below, but if it does close below 100 spot 23, then expect downtrend to resume. Also negative sentiment on the RSI because it got rejected there 60 threshold. Gold on the move here. Yesterday tested 3,167 support. Today, this morning, went straight through it. Testing the 55 moving average, could test the lower rising trend line there, and could even sell off all the way down to around 3,057. Worth to keep an eye on the RSI. Will it be rejected and bounce off 40 threshold, or will it close below? If it does close below, well, then there's definitely further downside potential. And what we actually have here is actually kind of a double top. I know this spike up there, so it's not a perfect one, but this is the valley. It's called the valley here. Well, then when it took out that, well, then we could be looking at project this lower to 138. We are almost there, and the 161.8 projection of this top there is at 3,058. So that's just around the support there, and I think we could test that here in the coming weeks. But let's see. We have some support there at the moment. If it moves down there, then I think it will bounce strongly. So keep an eye on that. The silver spot testing 31.65 support, just dipping a little bit below. and we could see a push down to 31.80. Copper also selling off here. Could test 450 again if it takes out the lows here from a few weeks ago at 447.75. Well, then we could be looking at 438. Energy and crude oil, WTI, well, in no man's land between the 786 retracement and the 100. Ran out of steam and is now pushing lower, and it seems to be resuming downtrend. Currently, very close to the 38.2 retracement at 60.61. I think we could see it down to the 61.8 retracement at 58.58. RSI still negative, got rejected at the 60 threshold, so we could see downtrend to resume. The Brent Crude oil future got rejected at the 786 retracement there. Oops, let me just add another one here and see where we have some levels. Tested the 38.2 retracement at 63.64 this morning. I think we could see it setting back to at least the 61.8 retracement at 61.67. On the European gas, well, still this range here, it needs to break out of 34 to the downside and 36 to the upside. US nat gas setting back now, couldn't get above the 55 moving average, and is currently trading around the 38.2 retracement at 346. I think we see a sell-off down to around 3.25 in this region here, where there's a little bit of support, and the 61.8 retracement. Yields, well, US 10-year Treasury yields very close to 455. Bullish trend, positive sentiment. I think we'll see a further push ups to around 465, maybe a little bit of a setback here, and then I think we'll see it pushing higher. 55 moving average also on the rise, supporting that view. Not much to say on the 2-year, dancing around the 200 moving average. It is also at the moment in a positive sentiment. You can see it's above 60 threshold. If it close above that, well, then I think we in the coming weeks we can see a push up to 415. EU 10-year very close to yesterday to the 272 resistance, and this peak here. I think we could see a little bit of a correction setting back here, but 55 moving average pushing higher. If we move above 272, well, then we could see a push up to around 282, 283. The UK 10 786 retracement yesterday and today at 472 is being tested. I think we will see a little bit of a setback, possibly down to 465. If it takes out the peak from yesterday, expect a push up to around 480. And finally, cryptocurrencies starting a little bit to keep momentum, and we could see a further setback if it takes out that spike down there at 100,700. We could see it down to the 61.8 here at 97,780. Also Ethereum struggling a little bit to keep momentum. So let's see if we should either measure it from here, but I think I will actually measure it from this uptrend here where it really took off. I think we could see it down to the 2,362 area, whereas the 38.2 retracement is at the moment. If it drops further, well, then we are looking at 2,100 and the 61.8 retracement. All right, that's all for today. And if you are still interested, I did a webinar on trading psychology. Check out the link in the text, and you can watch it on the Society of Technical Analysts website. All right, that's all for today. Have a nice day.